Welcome back to So You Want to Choose a Major. I'm Summer, and today we're going to be talking about occupational knowledge. This is simply knowledge about the different careers out there and what people actually do in their jobs. One of the problems people have when choosing their major or career path is simply not understanding all of their options. There are countless careers out there, and it's impossible to have a complete understanding of all of them. Today I'm going to give you some advice on how to look into fields so you can make a better informed decision. As always, a great place to start is online. Websites like the Princeton Review and ONET Online are great ways to learn about what jobs actually involve. You can do searches for specific positions, broad fields, personality, activities, and more. Just go and play around so you can get a feel of the sites. If something sounds good but not great, make sure you check out the related occupations and see if you can find out something that may be a better fit. One thing to take into consideration is the economic reality of a field's prospective salaries and potential job market. However, I don't recommend choosing a field just because it's safe or to make a lot of money. It takes a lot of work to get to graduation, and enjoying your work both in college and then later in your career can be critical to your success and happiness. Besides, there's no guarantee that a field will continue to be steady and predictable. The world is constantly changing, and labor needs will change with it. As author and philosopher Howard Thurman said, "Ask what makes you come alive and go do it, because what the world needs is people who have come alive." Similarly, if someone's discouraging you from something you really want because it's a hard field to get into, it's up to you to decide if you're willing to put in the effort to make your dream work. The world is not a wish-granting factory, but there are opportunities out there if you're willing to be driven and dedicated to your path. My general recommendation is to follow your dreams, but make sure you can pay your rent. Beyond that, it's really up to you to decide what career path fits you. Once you've done your online research, it's time for actual human interaction. This can be in the form of informational interviews, job shadowing, community service, part-time jobs, co-curriculars, and internships. It can also be talking to career counselors, trusted adults, or older students in order to get a better picture of the real world. The best way to know if you're going to like something, whether it's a job or a meal, is just to try it and find out. The more things you try, the more data you have on what you like and what you don't like. And you can use this to figure out trends and patterns and get better at guessing what you're going to like in the future. So go out and join clubs, take classes, volunteer, get part-time jobs, just try new things. One way to develop your occupational knowledge is through a great tool known as informational interviews. These are simply conversations with people who are currently working in a field in order to get a better picture of their industry and occupation. There's a link with more advice in the description, but in order to show a little bit what this looks like, an undecided high school student is going to interview me about getting into student affairs. So why did this type of work interest you, and how did you get started? It's been a bit of a journey. I first discovered student affairs in college through orientation, but I wasn't quite ready to commit to it right out of undergrad, so I took 2 years off and I did some service work and tried out some different jobs and some different careers before I eventually decided to come back and get that master's in higher ed. It's been a really great experience. It's 2 years. Mine included a graduate assistantship with the college's campus center, and I had a summer internship as well, and I'm finishing it up now. Could you suggest some ways a student could get that kind of experience? In college, there are countless opportunities to learn about student affairs. It's everywhere. Just try out some co-curriculars, work your way up to leadership positions. Any of the professionals that you talk to would be happy to give you advice and suggestions. You do need a master's for the field, so that's something you're going to want to look into as you finish up your bachelor's. What is a typical day like at your job? There's no such thing as a typical day in student affairs. But I do have some consistent responsibilities, of course. I manage a games room, which is largely the staff supervision component. And then I also advise our student supervisors. We have weekly meetings with them. I do a lot with staff training and evaluation and hiring, of course, every year as we lose our seniors. I also do some assessment work, social media presence, other duties as assigned are kind of all over the place. There's a lot of variety in my job, and that's really one of my favorite things about it. As you can see, informational interviews can be a great resource. Just make sure you plan out some questions in advance and you show your gratitude for their time. And don't be nervous, just enjoy the conversation. They agree to talk to you, so they must be interested in helping you. Now for your homework. First, go to ONET Online and the Princeton Review and just browse around. Check out some of the fields of study and some of the occupations they're in. Can you see yourself in these positions? Journal about this new information and alter your list of fields of study accordingly. Once you've done this, pick 2 fields to interview someone. Contact a teacher, professor, or professional in one of the fields that you're interested in and conduct an informational interview. Now journal about how appealing or unappealing their experiences are to you and how this insider knowledge has impacted your interest in their field. Thank you for checking out this episode of So You Want to Choose a Major. I hope you learned some skills that'll help you figure out what career options are best for you.